Hello everybody, welcome to a Game with Mitchell video today. Instead of doing a gaming video, I'm going to be teaching you guys the basics of Roblox Lua scripting. In today's video, we're going to be learning about variables and referencing objects in the workspace. So, first thing I'm going to do is just click the button that says part. So insert a part into the game. Now over here is the properties panel. This is where you can change stuff like, well, the block cast shadow. So these are all true or false options. So if it's green and it's a check mark, that means true. So casting shadow is true. And true is on. False means off. You can also do transparency, so like 0.5, it's like half. 1 is completely invisible. But for example, we're just going to name this part. So you can also change the name of the part, which is very important. You want to have every single part that you're going to be using to script different parts. So let's just call this part 1. You can follow along if you'd like to. And in the workspace, we're going to click the little plus sign. We're going to click script. You can delete all this. You don't need any of that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say that part. So basically, let me explain. So here's the difference between using variables and not using variables. So part, if I here, I'm gonna use variable. I'll explain what they are in just a second. So that's a variable right there. I'll explain a little bit more about it in just a second. I'm just giving you an example of what parts do. So okay, so look how small the coding is for this. Okay, this is using variables. But if I join, I click play, watch the part, it'll go transparent, it'll become visible again. We did all of that scripting. We changed the transparency of the part by using that, by this little code. Now, here's what happens if you don't use variables. So it's not like it uses less. Depends on how you lay out your code, but the big thing is, if you're going to change the properties of a part over and over again, instead of having to do like continue typing game.workspace.part1.transparency, you just use the variable you put. So, what is a variable? A variable is it's kind of like a value. So like I can name the value anything. Variables are super easy to use. All you have to do, let me zoom in here real quick. So we're gonna call this variable. We're gonna call it variable 1. Okay, and it's gonna be underlining with red because it's just plain text. But here's how you make it a variable. You equal sign space, and then whatever you put in here is the value. So if I wanted to say variable 1 is part 1. So game.workspace.part1. Oh. So now instead of having to be typing game.workspace.yada yada yada, I just type variable 1. Then dot whatever I want to change with it. You change the transparency. And you'll be like, well, why don't you just do part 1? Part 1 dot. It's not there because it's not a variable. And you're probably like, oh, it's not that much of a big deal. Let me show you what would happen if you're trying to, let me show you, here's how, like, if you're gonna make like a script for people to use, here's why variables are amazing to use, and you still should use them in your scripting normally. So if I wanted to say like, because if I wanted to make this script customizable for like the person who like downloads the script and they're gonna use it for their game, you have to use variables because it'd be hard for them to, like, beginners to dig through the code and find where all the variables are. So all you would do is message. This is just an example. And then they can type whatever they want right there in those parentheses. Time delay equals time delay equals, let's do 5 seconds. So you have this. So basically, let's just do a quick print. So we're gonna do, all this does, so if I do wait, time delay, so it's gonna wait whatever seconds in the numbers that's right here. So if it was 5, it is gonna wait 5 seconds because that's what time delay is equal to. If I did 4 seconds, it'll wait 4 seconds because that's what time delay is equal to. So let's do 5 seconds, and then we're gonna do print message. And this is the coding for a simple message with customizable options. So we're going to send the message to hello people, and should wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hello people appears. Now you have that. So this is basically made for, like, this is simple, you know, because you don't have to do any of the coding, you don't have to do any of the things. The more complex coding it is, the better the variables are. So if you need to tweak something, you can change it right then and there, and you don't have to go digging through the code to change all the information. So I changed it to something else. Hi. Let's change it to hi. And hi will appear. And here is the difference. Because then also, if you wanted to have this happen over and over again, right? So you have that. Now here's what would happen if you didn't. So you'd have to go through. Okay. So imagine you're like you found the script on the internet. Okay. Found a script. You're gonna use it in your game for something, whatever it is. And it's all messy. There's no like organization. Even though this is less. So you have this. So you have this. Versus versus that. And what looks more like easier to manage? So like if you're to think settings are above. So all you have to do, and with this one you'd have to sit there and find it. Like if it was a bigger, longer script, you have to like sit there and find it, look through it, and then change it manually, and you wouldn't know if it was the right thing or not. But with this, it's just right here. So you can just say whatever you want right here, and however you want the day is, so its settings are customizable, and then it will run it based on those. Hopefully that makes sense. You know, but that's variables. You can put whatever you want in variables. So I could do. So if I do quotation marks, that means it's going to be a text. So I can do whatever I want in there. If I want it to be a number, I can just put it with number. But if I want it to be a like an object in the game, I have to do this. Like that. So now we are going to, that's basically it for today's video. It's basically just all about variables, what they are, how to use them, and why they're important and useful. In the next video, we're going to be learning about properties in Roblox Studio, and how to do how to change properties for a part in scripts. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Any comments, questions, or concerns, you can just comment down below and I will answer them right away.